Always think one single file.
Can you move forward?
When I drive in the middle of the street, you do the same thing. If something is wrong, you stop and call me, but never jump off or get off the Segway without my help. From time to time I stop and give you a bit of information about the place you're going to visit. If you have questions, please do ask. Okay? Hope you enjoy your tour.
Thank you.
There we go. Welcome. Over here.
So new one.
Together, you together.
Okay, stopping now.
I didn't quite that.
Photo shoot. Already? It's early, isn't it? Huh? It's got a red light flashing. So. Thank you. Used to this. Thank you.
Please. Okay, over here, please. So we're standing here on a very important spot of Bruges. Here was once the medieval harbour. You know that Bruges from the 12th century, 12th, 13th century, until the 15th, 16th century was one of the most important ports of northwest of Europe, the metropole of northwest of Europe. The south you had Venice, the north you had Bruges. Once lived more people in Bruges than in London, in the center. And the center was much smaller than today. We talk about between 50, 60,000 people here in the center. Today only 20,000. Tourists, that's something else. We are the most visited city in Bruges, in Belgium. The touristic center of Belgium. Last year we had 8.3 million tourists. This year going to certainly be around 9 million. To give an example, the month of July, only 800,000 tourists. It's amazing a lot, something kind of very, very busy here. So a port, huh? Bruges was actually laying near the sea. It was a kind of a river who started, came around 15 kilometers from here, flew through the place and flowed directly inside the sea. And at the end of there lived the first people. 270 before Christ, they were attacked by groups, perhaps coming from East Europe, and they moved to the center. And we still have found remains of them. Also before came the Gauls, the Celts, the Carolines, even the Vikings came here. They attacked Ghent, another city here in Flanders. But here we had a very important man, Budwin the First, or Budwin with the R&M. He beat the people from Norway, and instead of coming here to fight, they came here to do business. So we had a good relationship with the Vikings. Other cities didn't have this. Later on, the whole thing started to silt. It means the sea goes more and more backwards. Ships couldn't enter anymore with high tide, and 1134 was a huge storm, breaks the dikes, and the water reached until Damme, a city around 5 kilometers from here. Very beautiful little city. They came and saw in a very important port harbour. And what they did, they started to build a canal from Bruges to Damme, and from that time everything became very important. Everything who arrived here has to be first be here in Bruges, have to be paid taxes, and then go back to Damme or other places. So important cities were Sluis, Damme and Bruges. And Bruges was one of the most important. Some of them stayed here, had their own place where they worked, they lived. So they had the Dutch, you had the English, you had the Scottish, you had the Turks, you had the Portuguese, you had the Germans, you had the Spanish, you had the Italians. This was the place to be. A meeting point of bankers, investors, merchants, whatever you can imagine, and also people who did art. And one of the most important was this guy here, Jan van Eyck, a very important painter, arrived here around the 15th century. He ameliorated the oil paint, or the oil paint existed, he ameliorated it. He used shadows, light, naturalism, detail. Very beautiful. If you see his painting, you would say this is not a paint, it is show you directly some examples. He came here, he lived and died here. He was also the court painter of a very rich family, the Dukes of Burgundy, who created the Lower Country. That means Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg were once one country. They occupied also the north side of France, what they called the region Picardy, and also the region around Lyon, Dijon, Franche-Comté de Bourgogne. This was their territory. They were abnormal rich. One of the richest families once in the world. They had more importance in business and in politics than the King of France. You can imagine how important this family was. So he was a court painter, so very important. As I told you, we're standing here on a kind of formal bridge. The ship sailed underneath that bridge straight to the market. Over there was water as well. And that water is still flowing here underneath, still exists. Of course you can't walk inside anymore. It's kind of issue. What happened with the port? Yeah, again, some economic issues, political issues, religious issues. Oil were abnormal rich, filthy rich, oil very poor. Can you imagine? Clashes. Ship became bigger. They couldn't enter any more in Bruges. You had to stop in Damme. A moment you had to stop in Sluis, and so on. And the whole thing stopped around the years 1600, something like this. And they were looking for the new port, and Antwerp, also in Bruges, in Belgium, became more and more important. Later on, Amsterdam. But today we have a new Bruges, a port. You know, Bruges. not so far from here, works together with Antwerp, and we became again the second most important port of Europe. So once Venice the number 1, Bruges number 2, now Rotterdam 1, number 2 Antwerp 3. So we're back in business. Here you have the former custom house. You see the flag of the sub-region West Flanders, because Belgium is divided in 3 regions. You have Flanders, you have Brussels, and you have Walloon. But we have a sub-region, we are here in West Flanders. And the flag of Belgium, the flag on the left-hand side. If you remember which one this is European Union. If you forgot it, I can always help you a little bit. Custom house, you arrive here with your ship. International products have to put on a kind of a scale. Have a special house for this. Next you have the toll house or the custom house. Therefore you have to pay on the weight of the products, kind of royal taxes. This is the burgers lot, what are burgers important people. There was their meeting point. Later on was also a kind of a protocol inside named the White Bear. And if you look around and from time to time you see bears. Here, out with the red bricks on the top is a bear. You see him? First of all, because we found a skull of bear in the center. Therefore we use the bear as the symbol of Bruges, the mascot. Also based on the on a story that the first Count of Flanders killed a brown bear with some snow on his shoulder, white bear, and he took his bear with him in his fortress. After a few days that bear started to smell a little bit, and replaced by a bear and stone, and that bear still exists. We're going to drive along and I will show you where you find the bear. Therefore we use the bear as a symbol of Bruges. So I promised to show you some photos of the paintings of Jan van Eyck. This one you will find in Bruges. Abnormal detailed, very, very beautiful. See? There's another one here in Bruges. His wife, look to her veil, made in lace, heavily the detail, her ears, her nose, everything is like this reality. The most beautiful one you find in Ghent, for 80% painted here in Bruges, the Mystic Lamb. And talking about details, that's also the fountain on the Mystic Lamb. Have a look, what you see. Crazy, every little detail you see. There's a lamb as well who is bleeding. Crazy, eh? But that guy did. And where can you find these paintings? Well, look, all over Europe, even in the States, you will find paintings. And we don't talk about this is in museums. I don't talk about those who are in private hands, of course. Still a few in private hands. Chris here from London. Nobody from London? But if you go to London National Gallery, you'll find this one as well. Maybe you saw it already. Look to the, you see even the people standing in the mirror, so you have knowledge about opticals. You see the dog, it's like the dog is real. Every little detail. And here you see the mud on her shoes. So this guy is amazing, he's a master. We're calling them the Flemish master. That kind of art we call it Flemish primitive. But that's the wrong definition, to get it. The Renaissance of the lower class. So we stayed a long time one country, and then in 1830 we split, Holland split away from Belgium, and Luxembourg split also from Belgium. So we're now 3 different independent countries. Okay? Any kind of question? Please shoot. No? Okay. That's easy for me. Gentlemen over there, if you are more, say, if you feel more comfortable, you don't have to drive anymore behind me. You say, drive in the middle or whatever. If you're more comfortable, you can. to the market square. That little square there wasn't rich. On the bridge was a little house, and that house was a kind of house where the people who worked in the harbor, loaded and unloaded the ships, they had their little house. Always a kind of little chapel. It was a chapel as well. On the corner stood once a crane. That crane originally stood on the market square. A moment at the end of year 1200, the crane moved here and was used during 500 years. Lifting the barrels with fish, oil and wine, first German wine, out of the ships. How it functioned the crane? Well, inside was a kind of wheel, and young people, not the tall ones but the smaller ones, were walking in that wheel to get functioning the crane. This is here the Opera House that was opened in 1869, who replaced the first one. We have 1, 2, 3 main entrances. We had also side entrances, especially built for the horse carriages. So the rich people were just dropped at the door. They didn't have to cross the street or whatever. They were just dropped. It was the former Italian part of Bruges, and also named the financial heart of Bruges. Outside, sitting on benches, brokers, and they were selling and buying exchange goods. Not money. Why? Because they could be robbed when they're on their way. So they worked with kind of exchange goods like we use today, our credit cards, for example. We don't have money anymore, credit cards. In the corner lived an innkeeper or a hostel keeper. His name was Sander Brisse. He was a kind of a trustee. He took care of their business. If they were absent, he had a hostel, he had warehouses, he had given financial advice and so on. And if you translate the word van der Brisse to Dutch, van der Beurze, English the word bourse, or what we use today, the stock exchange. So the basic ideas of the stock exchange started over there in that corner. The stock exchange, as we know today, was invented in Amsterdam in 1602. For example, you're a broker, you made a wrong calculation, you lost all your money, we took your bench away, we put it on fire. And then you were bankrupt. You were bankrupt. If you want to know how it looked like this lady over there is a time scope, there's one also on Jan van Eyck's square. Then you have a look, put your own language, it's for you to use. Put your language and it gives you an explanation, and you look around and you see how it looked long time. Okay. Also on the Jan van Eyck square where the first harvest. Okay? Perfect. Oh yeah, please. Facade is still in wood. You see it? They're going back to the S1500. Most of the houses were built in brick. The soil was very good, built in brick. Some houses used other kind of stones coming from a quarry. And then you were abnormal rich. filthy rich, what we say, rich as stones, stone rich. If you were stinking rich, that means you could be buried inside the church. Your body starts to decompose and here are the stinking rich. See? We're going back to the years 1500, 1600. We have only two are original. From time to time you see that blue white shield. You see it? That means this house is listed. Bruges is 80% UNESCO World Heritage. 80% what means a lot. So there are only two houses, original with a wooden facade, and you can recognize by that blue and white coat. If you see other ones, they're most of the time are replicas. The entrance is over there. If you have some pocket money left, it's for sale. Around 1 million euros. Without the taxes, of course. Yeah. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. Sometimes you see that windows are blocked. If you look around, you see the same thing happened in England, Britain. The window tax. What you call in English daylight robbery.
Yes.
You see, it's nails on doors. More nails on doors than more ritual because it's copper, and copper is very expensive. And still today, people steal copper because it's expensive. You see, and the guy invented, well, if you knock a nail inside and you try to pull it out, it opens again, it splits again. And you can pull as long as you want, the nail will never move. So that means you're dead as a doornail. And we are dead as a stone because we are buried underneath the stone. That's our kind of experience. Dead as a stone. Stone rich, filter rich. Other experience, but it actually means the same. Okay? Over here, please.
No, that's good in ribs.
We should get one.
This is Segway.
You see a bay window. You see him on the corner, a bay window?
Yeah.
This is one of more than 500 years old. That means Columbus just discovered America when this was built. We found things back inside the house that were from the years 1400. So a bay window more than 500 years old.
Huh?
Reminds me, I need to paint the kitchen.
Maybe not.
This is what the remains of the first wall was built in 1217. 1277, something like this, in the 13th century. Was 3.5 kilometers long, had 7 entry gates. Unfortunately, none of these gates still exist. This was also the first moat around the city. We built a second one in 1297. Was around 7 kilometers long, had also 9 gates. 9 gates is a discussion about is it 7 or 9, whatever. And, still 4 are intact. But that's the 2-hour tour, therefore we have to go more up this way or this way to find one of those gates who still exist from the second wall. Even they were talking about the third wall, but it never stopped. So, 11, more than 8, nearly 900 years old. This piece of 12, yes, 1127 to be honest. So in 303 years, it will be 900 years old or something like this. Okay, good. We're talking about rich, like we say, or you're amazing poor. And to give an example about how rich you can be, this house belonged once to one person. His name was the Cross, family the Cross, and he was the treasurer of the Golden Fleece. What's a fleece? It's the skin of a lamb, and it was a kind of group of an order of knights. It was founded in the 15th century by one of the Dukes of Burgundy, Philip the Good One, after he married Isabella von Portugal, organized it here in Bruges. That organization still exists.